They say opposites attract.
Well, how about these opposites? Daddies and sons.
You're listening to Daddy and Son.
A podcast where we explore the dynamics of daddy and son relationships, multi-generational views,
And everything else in between.
Welcome back,
Welcome back.
beauty and beasts. The young
And the old, or mature, I should say.
and the restless.
That's everybody.
Daddies and sons.
We're here.
To this show that we call Daddy and Son.
And how old is this show, son?
We're in season 3, so
Yeah.
it's probably about 2.5 years old.
Yes. The idea for it came...
Actually, it's 3 years old.
Well, it came in May of 23.
Yeah. So look at that. Look, we're getting there. We're getting there up in age. I kind of feel like the show's like raising a baby. We've raised the baby together. You know?
But you know what? You're looking younger now than you were 2 years ago. I swear, your hair change is
Thank
very
you.
becoming.
I take that with high compliments, given that there's stressors all around. The world is going to shit. The doomsday clock is at 85 seconds to midnight. Everything's going on, but guess what?
We're still here.
We're still here. Our prime minister is, doing what he's supposed to do.
He's pissing off Donald Trump.
He's going out, cutting deals, pissing off Trump.
Like, why does Trump care if we have a deal with China?
Listen.
Why does Trump care about anything Canada does? He doesn't think much of us. Why is he so concerned about who he
Because
talks
it makes us harder to take when he's done with Greenland.
That's
my speculation.
That's peering into the future.
And when have I ever been wrong?
Well, do we have enough time to go there?
How dare you?
We only have 40 minutes left here. Anyway.
And you know what? One of the things that I pay attention to is that a lot of people, especially conservatives, all of them are like, oh no, I can't believe that he's making deals with China. I can't believe he's possibly making deals with the Turks. And I'm just like...
You're hearing Canadian conservatives are saying that?
Yes.
Well, Ford doesn't like the EV thing, but... Hey, listen, we need to help our canola farmers. Surely the conservatives out in Alberta are delighted with this, right?
This is why...
Ford is not
Ford
too
can
happy.
step aside. Hear me. If you're a conservative and you're all about free market and anti-monopoly and you're all about fair trade, then why do you care?
Well,
this is a good thing.
It is good, although we don't really have free trade with China. We have managed trade. But we get trade. Trade has always been fine.
Okay, fair trade. Maybe that's the word I'm looking for. Fair trade.
Yes.
Isn't that the whole principles of conservatism? So why is this a bad thing?
Speaking of conservatives,
if it comes to Canada and it doesn't do well, then great. It doesn't do well.
Yeah.
It's competition. That's what conservatism is about.
It's the market, yes. And it's unfortunate that it comes at the expense of... I mean, we just had big layoffs in Oshawa announced yesterday.
Yeah, but I don't know if that has...
That's the American thing.
Yeah, but I don't know if that has anything to do with cars coming in from China.
No,
I think
absolutely nothing.
That's tariff related.
Yeah, it's and it may be model readjustment and stuff like that. But it's shake-up time. Let's face it, it's shake-up time.
And not only that, but the American car market is suffering. It's suffering because...
Why?
And again, much like we discussed last year... The parts that makes these cars like GM, Ford, a lot of the parts
come from here. Canada.
And it comes from Canada.
Southern Ontario specifically.
And then they're assembled in Mexico. and then it's sent over back to the US to finish.
And then they come back to Canada to check on it.
And then it's distributed for sale.
Well, sometimes the car will go back and forth a few times.
Yeah.
Before it even gets assembled. Just to make sure it's been, who knows? I mean, we're not in the car business.
No, you're not wrong. You're absolutely not wrong. And so the amount of tariffs, it makes the average price of a vehicle, and this is just a gas vehicle, the average price would be about $53,000. Whereas that was usually the price of an A-class vehicle, like a base model of a luxury vehicle. And now a non-luxury vehicle, like a C-class vehicle, the base model is starting at $53,000. But these new EVs that are coming in from China, the average sales cost of it will be like $33,000, $34,000.
That's amazing.
So, again, competition. And that's what he's worried about, because for years, they have been demonizing electric vehicles.
The Chinese have moved ahead on so many areas right now.
As we've spoken about.
And to your point, when you made that point last week when Cole was here, the next currency of the world, if it's not U.S., will be China. Mm-hmm. Why?
Next world currency, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, we're headed that way. Look at their whole movement into, I saw something today, a type of AI, not generative AI, but, no, this is where my memory is failing me, but they are
it's okay, Daddy.
They are far ahead in a certain type of AI, and like they're going to leave everybody in the dust. So we got to deal with them.
And I've told you the reason why. The reason behind that is China made sure to make the cost of production around AI. They addressed that issue by investing in renewable energy. And that is where we, as in North America, both the U.S. and Canada, we have fallen short.
Yes, but you know the disadvantage they have? And it's not everybody. It's the shortage of good chips.
Well,
that's what I hear.
That's part of the reason why they want to take over Taiwan. And now that the U.S. has made its moves and they're co-signing Russia, basically, because they're saying any peace deal has to come with Ukraine giving up land, which defeats the purpose. Because, Comrade Zeke is saying, Zelensky is...
Comrade, what did you call him?
He used to be a comedian before he got into politics. So I call him Comedy Zeke.
Oh, okay. Yeah, Comedy Zeke.
Yeah, so Comedy Zeke is like, that's a non-starter. He's like, we're not, sorry, I don't know why the Jamaican accent is coming out. He's like, that's a non-starter. We're not giving up our land. Like, you done take Croatia.
Good for him.
Like, you done do the Crimea. You done do this. We're not giving you anything else. No. The buck stops here. It's peace or nothing else.
But those poor Ukrainians right now, they're getting bombed to hell and they're freezing in the dark.
It's giving China. The world is taking paying attention.
It's opening a door for China to move through it, isn't it?
Yeah, because if China is like, oh, so nobody's gonna stop Trump. Nobody's doing nothing about it. Oh, okay. All right, well, I guess why not? Let's take Taiwan, and when we're done, let's take Hong Kong as well. Why not? Who gonna check us, boo?
Well, they got Hong Kong already. They don't need to take it.
In the words of Portia from Real Housewives, who gonna check me, boo? Oh. That's China. China's like, who gonna check me?
I thought you were talking about the Portia in Henry IV Part 1, Shakespeare.
Oh.
Sorry, I'm a little behind.
How do you even remember that?
I'm a little behind. Well, I was grade 10. That was grade 10 English.
Your age is showing, Norm. Your age is showing.
Don't they take Shakespeare in English in high school still?
Yeah, I would hope so.
I don't know if it was that.
Granted, that book wasn't on my book list, but my mom had it from her school days.
Oh, really?
So I read it just like outside of school on my own.
You did?
But
how ambitious
really
of you.
Play. Really good play.
Henry IV Part 1. Yes, it was.
There are a few Shakespearean plays that I read by myself that wasn't on my book list. That was one.
We should go to Stratford this summer. We should find a play and go to Stratford this summer.
The Tempest was one that I also read that wasn't on my book list in school.
What was the other one we did? We didn't do King Lear. I think we did Hamlet.
Yeah, we did Hamlet in school. We did Hamlet. We did Macbeth.
Maybe it was Macbeth we did, yes. What a tremendous art, tremendous achievement. It still lives on today. Amazing.
Oh yeah, maybe one of his most famous works. But we digress.
We digress. We digress. We haven't.
And you know what? Just to close this out, I will say that I'm really happy. This move, this is what I've always said. Carney is literally a conservative in a red cloak.
I think you're right. And he's 9 points ahead.
And I'm curious. I haven't checked the news to see what the reviews, because MAGA Pierre Polyev has been up. He's up for leadership review today. So I don't know what
Is the vote tonight? Yeah, I think it is.
It is tonight.
Yeah.
So I don't know what the results on that. I have been checking the coverage, but I'll check on it later on or tomorrow. So really excited about that. And I don't know why I'm excited, but I just have this.
I had a dream about it last night. I dreamt that I was going to the TV.
A dream or a premonition.
And I was waiting to hear the results. And guess what? I woke up before they gave them. Shit, it always happens.
Oh my God! Just
the good part.
Always when it gets to the good part. So you were left with a cliffhanger.
It's like waking up before you come in the dream. I mean, what can you do?
I mean, is that a bad thing? Because that's kind of giving me like you're saving the bed. You're saving the sheets from having to throw them in the washer the next morning.
Well, sometimes.
But yeah, I find this a good thing. I find this is going back to true conservatism. I was a little bit. I've always said that before 2000, I want to say before the pandemic. So I was 2019 was when I started moving away from conservatism. But before then, anybody who knows me knew that I used to call myself a small C conservative.
Interesting.
And then I started moving away from conservatism because I felt like the true core values and principles of conservatism that I grew up with, like, again, fair market, small government, anti-monopoly, competition, live and let live.
Well, you certainly wouldn't call Mr. Ford a conservative then, would you?
And I felt like all of these things, these values started to like shift. Even when I was a kid, again, I remember I was only like maybe 11 or 12 when Obama was running for presidency against Al Gore. And Al Gore, if you remember, his platform was climate change. That was what he was known for. He had documentaries
one of them
on climate change. And those were the things that got me excited about being a young conservative.
Well, hold on. He ran against Hillary for the nomination.
Oh, it was Hillary.
Hillary, yeah.
Okay, thank you.
Al Gore ran against George Bush in 2000 and lost.
Then who was the first person who ran against Obama? It wasn't Trump.
It would have been John McCain.
McCain.
Yeah.
Thank you, McCain. McCain also ran on climate change.
Well, thank goodness he turned down killing the Affordable Care Act. Remember that famous thumbs down? Remember that? Good for you. That's good.
I remember because
we know more American politics than Canadian
again,
politics.
as a child growing up, these are things I'd pay attention to, and I've always said this before. Most immigrant communities, whether it's the Caribbean immigrant community or the African Caribbean immigrant community or even the Indian immigrant community or the Asian, they're more likely going to lean conservative. But the reason why they have been losing these communities is because they've been going radical right.
Too far to the right, yeah.
Radical right.
Yeah.
A lot of the policies that they've pushed have been to the detriment of these minority communities, which, let's just call it what it is. It has racist undertones. And when we start to even look at the hypocrisy of things, a lot of I'm not saying that, okay, if you're a politician, don't line your pockets, don't get your kickbacks.
Well, we don't want that either.
Well, it is inevitable. But my thing is, if you're going to get your kickbacks, still look after still do your job.
Yeah.
Do what you were put here to do, what you were elected to do.
Well, and there's a president right now who does not do that. in the United States.
Frankly.
It doesn't do it at all.
So with that being said,
yes.
We've
had our politics discussion now.
If the new Liberal Party is the conservatives of yesteryear, then you can now call me a hardcore libertarian.
Well, I would say to you that there's some conservative elements in Carney, but there's still tax and spend in the Liberals, and that is not going to go away. Mm-hmm. We saw it this week when he handed him money out for grocery rebates. That's going to cost, I don't know what, a few $1 billion over the next 5 years. Mind you, you know what? As a conservative, I can afford groceries. I know there's a lot of people that can't. I kind of don't mind a little bit of help for people that can't afford groceries. There are a lot of people who
can't, and I've always said...
But it's still not enough.
I don't want to live in a society where the great divide between the have and the have-nots, the gap is so wide that I feel fearful to live my life. Because people don't commit crime for the sake of committing crime. Yes, there are a few that
do. They're poor.
There are a few that do.
They're desperate.
But most people who do it because they're desperate.
They're desperate or they're greedy. But the greedy ones have other ways of doing it. Tend not to be violent.
Correct.
Yeah.
When people are desperate and they feel backed into a corner, that's when people become violent. To avoid that, to avoid a violent world, remove the need for desperation.
I feel sorry for these. I was coming down here on the subway. There was a guy walking up and down saying, "Do you have change? Do you have change? Do you have change? I'm homeless. I got change." These poor people. Nobody uses change. I don't change.
Like what?
I almost feel like saying, "Do you take plastic?" But no, I wouldn't say that. I mean, that would be insulting.
You know what's ironic? My girlfriend who lives in China, she told me that even the homeless people, how they get money is like they tap their watch. That's how they change money through WeChat. They tap their watch. Like even the homeless people. Like China is like, that's how technologically advanced they are. And I was just like, that can't be true. You know what? I looked it up. It is true.
So how does a homeless person get money that way? I could give somebody...
Because the price of an Apple Watch here is $559. But the price of a smartwatch in China, it would be the equivalent of less than 50 Canadian dollars. Remember, the reason why China...
Are you serious?
The reason why things are so cheap in China. Remember when TikTok had their issue and the Chinese people were, saying, oh, if they want to throw us tariffs, come over here. Forget Alibaba, forget Shein. If you want good price, come over here. We give you good price. We give you wholesale on all these top brands that all their stuff, they want to think it's made in Italy. It's made right here in China, and then they carry it over to Italy just to put the logo on it. We will get you good price. We will get you good price. Instead of paying this, you pay 10%.
Will it be authentic? It won't be counterfeit?
They're all made there. So there's nothing about...
Are you saying that an Apple Watch is way cheaper in China than in North America?
Where is it made?
Well, it's assembled. It's parts all over the place, but probably it's in China or Taiwan or some other place.
It's all made there.
But it doesn't mean the pricing is lower there.
And the material that is used to make it all comes from that region.
But I'm just surprised the price difference is as big as you say it is.
I'm telling you, look it up. That's your homework, Norm. Look it up.
Now that China's removed the visa requirements to travel there, as a result of the Carney visit to China a couple of weeks ago, it's probably worth taking a flight, enjoying some China, buying a good suit, and buying an Apple Watch.
I think it was Oscar Wilde who said that travel, was it travel? No, that travel broadens the mind is somebody else. Oscar Wilde said, if you want to break down the barriers of racism, travel.
See other cultures, see other people.
Because that's the only way you're going to be able to broaden your mind.
Yes. Because we're all one family. We're all one race, really.
Travel. That's it.
We're the human race.
All you got to do is travel.
And where are you traveling next, my dear?
China. China's my next travel.
And that is in?
End of March.
End of March.
Yeah.
China. So tell us your itinerary. I'm curious. Do you mind sharing that?
I don't mind, but I just don't know my itinerary.
Oh, okay. Well, we'll figure
I just know exactly where I'm going, but I don't know what I'm going to do when I get there.
Did you use ChatGPT to plan it out?
I like to. I've never used ChatGPT to plan out a trip. I'm not that kind of guy.
What do you mean that kind of guy? What's wrong with doing that?
I go somewhere, I check into where I need to check in, and then I usually run the area to get to know the location, get to know the layout, see what's around.
You explore at the time?
I explore at the time, and then I do what I want to do. I just know that my top visits are usually museums and restaurants.
Yeah, and you go to China, you're going to see the China Wall, you're going to see the museum where those things were, I forget what they call it.
Maybe not, because I don't know. I don't know which province. I don't know which province the Great Wall is in, but I'm going to be in Chengdu.
It's not far from Beijing.
Okay.
Yeah. I'd love to see the China Wall.
I'm looking forward to seeing the pandas. But anyhow, that is it for today's introduction.
Yes,
Let's take a break to refresh our drinks, and then we'll come back with today's main topic. We're back, and on to today's main topic.
The main topic.
Lead us in, Norm.
Well, yes, and I assume you're going to put in some music interlude, drum up before we do this. So I'll pause a moment.
One hour later.
Okay.
For dramatic effect.
Yes, right. Well, a friend of mine sent me something the other day, and it was entitled, it was a little thing on Instagram, 7 phrases boomers use to end conversations that annoy young people. And I thought, so I want to just go through them, and then let's see how much they annoy you and how much you think young people should be annoyed when boomers use those phrases. So,
I know there's a lot of phrases that you use that damn near annoy me to the point where I'm like, I've literally had conversations with friends where I say, Norm did this to me, and he ended the conversation by doing it. You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to flip it right back on its head, and I'm going to use that exact phrase on him one day. Well, maybe let him see how it feels.
Well, maybe it's on this list. Let's see.
All
right. Well, here's the first one. Well, I'll let you go now.
You see, I kind of feel like I use that a lot too, but maybe I've learned that from you.
Well, I was thinking, I would feel pissed off under certain circumstances. If I was trying to get somebody's attention and I got the feeling they weren't really paying much attention, they were trying to get rid of me, I would be pissed off. On the other hand, if two people know they've talked about what they've talked about, it's a fair way to end a conversation.
Kind of like it. Like, that even when now that I'm sometimes leading meetings at work, when the meeting needs to wrap up, I'm just like, all right, enjoy the rest of your day. I'll let you guys go now.
Yeah.
Or if the meeting was scheduled for like an hour and there's like 15 minutes left or 10 minutes left, I'll say, well, I'll give you back 10 minutes off your time.
That's a good line. I don't know if anybody has anything else to say, but I think we can get out of here early. What do you all say?
I don't even give them the opportunity to have anything else to say.
You're an autocrat. Yeah, of course, you run the podcast the same way, my dear.
Close-ended. I'm just like, I'm done talking, so everybody should shut up now. Bye.
So we both basically said that one is neutral. It could be or it couldn't be.
Yeah.
All right. What about anyway? Anyway.
That pissed me off. An ex of mine that who shall not be named. We all know him for famously having a ponytail, very long hair, and being indigenous. He used to do that to me all the time. It's like, anyway, and just move on. And when I or whatever. He used to
whatever.
He's like, whatever, and then start talking about something else. And when
we're not finished that. Come back. I hate whatever. Whatever is just an excuse for not using your mind.
I'm just like, it is so dismissive
Anyway.
And I think being dismissive is one of the most infantile things that you can do to an adult person.
It's a put down, isn't it?
It is quite infantizing.
In certain contexts. Unless you're talking about something to a group of people and you say, anyway, I wanted to talk about really this.
Yeah, but that's
different.
But that's not usually the context in which people are using it.
Yeah. Anyway.
And definitely not boomers.
Anyway, I think we can move on to another one since we agree that that's a piss off, that one, right? Yeah. Oops, sorry. There I am going again. Okay, put that on the list. How about it is what it is?
When you do that to me,
do I say that?
That's what. Yes,
I don't say that very much,
especially in this very podcast.
It is what it is.
You know how many times we've been talking about things, and you're like, well, you're living in a fantasy world that will never change. It is what it is, and I'm just like. Okay, I'm talking about some real ideas, some real idealism right here.
Yeah, that's that's another form of dismissal, isn't it? Or I don't want to talk about it.
I find it quite dismissive.
Well,
I've said to people that I'm gonna flip it on its head. I'm gonna do it to you one day when you're talking about something.
Well, why don't you say, what do you really mean? I mean, it is what it is. It's sort of a cheap way of not saying something that is too complicated to say. You know, like, it's like saying, I don't know what else to say about that. I can't figure it out. Let's talk about something else. I mean, would that be better?
I don't know if that will be better. Oh, here's the thing.
That's too many words.
Well,
I'm out of breath already.
Young people are going to inherit the earth, and they should be listened to.
Fair enough.
We are
That's why we're doing this.
Some of the most overeducated generation, millennials and Gen Zs, the most overly educated, and there's no such thing as being overly educated. But when I say overly educated, most millennials and Gen Zs have a minimum of 2 degrees.
Well, you're also exposed to way more information than I was at my age.
Right, because we grew up in the information age.
Yeah, I mean, you know way more about politics and geography and
technology, you name it.
Yeah.
And I oftentimes feel like when I'm talking, and it's not just you, it's not just you.
Well,
sometimes it's Mary.
I know you know other daddies.
You met Mary at Christmas time.
Yes. Oh, she's like delightful.
Sometimes it's Mary. I've noticed a trend with the boomers in my life.
Yeah.
Where I'll be talking about something and they're quite dismissive in a way like, oh, you're talking about a pipe dream. But you know what? Viola Davis said this the other day. It's only a dream until you're standing in where you always envisioned you would be. And I feel like, especially politicians who are older in age, maybe they're Gen Xers, maybe they're boomers, a lot of them, especially in the US, are boomers. If you're not going to listen to those overly educated, again, not a thing, but really highly educated, smart, 20-plus-year-old individuals that you hire, that you have severely underpaid, that are really just there because they care about their society.
They want politics.
They care.
Yeah.
If you're not going to listen to them, step aside and let somebody else do the job.
I had one of those jobs once, by the way.
Step aside and I'm sure when you were in your 20s and in your 30s and you were trying to get through to your bosses and they weren't listening to you, you felt frustrated.
I had the privilege of being listened to, though, most of the time. And when I didn't, I learned.
Because you were a suck-up and a teacher's pet, that's why.
I was, I listened and I was, I didn't try to venture too bold my opinions or things. I kind of knew
that's
what was
where
the
millennials
right thing.
are a little bit different, because I feel even Gen Zs are worse than us. I kind of feel like Gen Zs are like they're take no bullshit generation,
but their judgment isn't great sometimes, and that's the difference between a mature person and a less mature, a younger
may
person.
Be fair, but it doesn't mean that their ideas don't have verisimilitude.
I totally agree. And that's why the boomer has got to filter. We've all got to filter stuff better. We got to say, okay, there's some goodness in what that person's saying. They're saying it from a rather, naive point of view, maybe, but you know what? There's a kernel of wisdom there. Let's run with that. Mm-hmm. That would make for a better dialogue between the two instead of just saying, "Oh no, I don't have any time for that thought."
I think not listening to young people is what created a Trump. I think not listening to young people is what created a Mamdani.
Well, I'll tell you, what created Trump was the Democrats not listening to the public's view on immigration.
Listen.
And a lot of young people felt that way too.
It's not even just immigration. I think it was Cole and I who were talking, and we've both agreed that if Biden had just pardoned Trump, he'd made his money in the first year of office, he would have stayed out. He wouldn't. He's literally clinging on to power just so he doesn't go to jail. But when I say that it's young people that create both these radical, what I call radical divides. You have people that they call them the extreme left, like the Mamdani. Granted, I don't see there's anything extreme about wanting free healthcare, wanting free transportation, wanting rent control and affordable housing.
It's just totally unrealistic.
There's nothing radical about it, and there's nothing unrealistic about it. There's money there. If they can find the money to give ICE $75 billion to go harass people, they can find the money to create free healthcare for people, or at the very least, heavily subsidized healthcare. The money is there.
And that is what's going to beat Trump. That very thought in the midterms.
And you know who is presenting those kind of thinking? The Gen Zs, the kids. It's the kids.
So the question is, are they going to vote?
And now more than ever, even in Canada, what have we noticed? Before in the past, even when, like back in 2019, the demographic that turned out the most to vote usually were middle-aged Suburbans.
Yeah.
What we have seen in the last election is that in the first time in history, we're seeing a high spike in the voters between the ages of 18 to 25.
That's surprising. I didn't realize that. I always thought that the younger voters were the ones who didn't vote in great numbers compared to guys and people my age.
Yeah, in comparison, that was always the case.
Probably the 50 and up, they're probably the highest percentage. But what's happened is the younger numbers are coming up. Is that probably what's happening?
Especially in the last mayoral election in New York, 45% of the voters were ages between 18 to 30.
That's because he touched their issues. And they were income issues. Plus the outgoing mayor, I forget his name, but he was
Eric Adams.
Yeah, he was kind of like, he was next door to the jailhouse, wasn't he?
I mean, which U.S. politician right now, who is,
Comrade, don't talk about people I like.
Isn't.
Okay? I like people who like to go to jail.
Everybody's on the brink. Everybody's on the verge. Okay. But anyhow, I think we should be listening to young people more. And so it is what it is statement is just, it's not going to fly anymore, because if they're not able to articulate where their mindset is coming from or how they feel about something,
it's coming from the heart.
It's coming from the heart.
Yeah, and you got to realize that. Listen to it. I totally agree with that. Sit down with
them and help them navigate the thought.
And you know what? As you say that, I would love to work with young people.
Would you
to do that? Yeah, because I find that challenging.
What's stopping you, John?
I don't know where to do it. I don't know how to do it. Other than here, I don't know where to go to do it.
You know what? You know how you could do it?
How?
present to your board a budget so you can get a younger assistant who can
No,
with the energy with the energy, the vigor, and the ideas.
You already got a job. All right, moving on.
This is not about me.
Moving on. Now that phrase is not on the list, but I'm going to use it here anyway.
I'm just going to say one last thing about this before we move on. One thing I respected about my father growing up is that no matter how, I think I've said this before in this podcast, there's only one time in my entire life my father has ever lifted his hand on me. One time. My father, no matter if I cursed, I could cuss, I could drop the F-bombs, no matter what. My father wasn't the type of parent to hit me. If I had opinions or I had views, he would stop me and say, why? Why do you think this is important? Why does this matter to you? How does this benefit you? How does this benefit your community? And he, rather than tearing me down and saying, shut up, you don't know what you're talking about, it is what it is, he would always challenge me to think.
That's a good parent.
And then I would be like, oh, I don't know enough. Let me go do my research and come back. And if I do my research and it's lackluster, he would challenge me again. And I would go back, and that is how I was raised.
Amazing.
And I'll never forget the day, this was like, I was no more than like 11 or 12 when Obama became president. And I remember I was like, yay, there's a black man in the White House. And my dad was like, okay, and what does that mean to you? And I remember just sitting down in the back seat of the car because we were driving. And I remember just sitting there thinking, I don't know what this means to me.
Do you know what year he became president? That's a little trivia question.
Was it 2014?
2008. He left in 2008.
He left in 2008.
He became president in 2008. The reason I know, I was in Detroit that year to see a hockey game, and I stopped in to see a friend, and I got a Obama. Who was his VP nominee? You remember? I cannot remember. It wasn't Hillary. No, she wasn't her. Obama.
It was Biden the second time, but the first time
it was Obama Biden.
The second time, but the first time it was somebody else. Or was it Biden for both times?
It must have been Biden.
I think it was Biden for both times, but Hillary was the
she was Secretary
of State. Correct.
Yeah. But anyway, I got this Obama Biden thing, and I had it in my office for a couple of years. It was just great.
And I remember, I'll never forget that moment. I wasn't 12, I was 13. And I'll never forget that moment. I was sitting in the backseat of the car, I was like, oh, he's right. What does that even mean to me? I'm not American. Why do I care?
But it mattered to you because it struck a chord.
It did strike a chord because it felt like it was like, okay, someone who looks like me could achieve that level of greatness.
And the question that your dad asked was good. The fact that he asked that, it got you to think about it.
But I wasn't thinking about, I wasn't able to articulate that.
Okay, but it started you thinking about it.
Thinking about it. And that's where I'm coming from. I would like to see a lot more boomers take that approach.
Ask questions, dig, encourage.
Correct.
Force, keep going with your thought. Where are you going with this?
Encourage critical thinking.
Touche.
And what is the next one?
The next one it's almost a repeat of what we heard earlier. And it's, and I'm having trouble getting my phone open here because I'm not looking at it. But it is, alrighty then. And we could take these two, alrighty then, keep it groovy. There's two.
Who talks like that? You know what that reminds me of?
I don't. Keep
that reminds me of last week. Colston and I were talking about white people, white speak, white talk, and I was like, oh, like, watch it, buddy. That sounds like a white people talk, a white speak.
What? Alrighty then? All right then?
Keep it groovy.
All right then. Oh, keep it groovy. Yeah, that's something that would have been in my day.
Alrighty then.
Groovy was something I learned in school in the 60s.
Who talks like that?
But groovy. Let's forget that one. What about just give me a shout.
Oh my God.
You like that one? I don't know what's the problem with that. Just give me a shout. Depends context.
I think context matters, but for the most part, when older people, particularly Gen Xers, not even so much boomers, but when Gen Xers say that to me, just give me a shout. And I'm like, why? I'm literally right here, right now, trying to set something up with you.
So if you were trying to get to somebody and they were trying to put you off and saying in an email, just give me a shout when you get to town, or just give me a shout when you think the time is right. Instead of saying, I can meet with you then or there or
at here. This time, at this hour, between this.
So it's another way of putting you off.
And I'm just like, I'm not, it reminds me of, so I have a girlfriend of mine who is in her 50s and her dad just recently died.
Oh.
And I went out of my way to buy a gift to give to her, to just show my respects and condolences.
Oh, that's nice.
And I've been asking for the past 4 days, when can I see you? When can I see you? And she's always busy. And so I said, can I see you this Saturday, tomorrow? And she said to me, well, yes, I can. Then she came back to me and said, oh, I have a birthday party that I'm attending. She didn't say to me anything about, I'm not going to call her name. She does listen to this podcast. I'm not going to call her name. She said to me,
did she offer an alternative time?
No.
See, now that's a giveaway. That's a giveaway because that means I'm really not anxious to see you at this point to talk about that.
So my response was, well, you know what? I'm happy that you're seeing I said to her, I'm happy that you're surrounding yourself with friends.
Yeah.
That was the key word for me.
Yeah.
I'm happy that you're surrounding yourself with friends. And I'm happy that you are leaning in on resources that make you feel happy because this is a very dark time.
Even though your offer to help was, in a sense, kind of put on the back burner.
Pushed by the wayside.
And you know
then
what?
I ended the text by saying, let me know what you need from me and how I can help.
Wonderful.
And that was it.
What else can you do?
And I just left it there.
You know what? A lot of times, and I identify with that, I've offered to get together with people. I've actually asked people I've asked one person, in fact, he was here in this apartment a couple of years ago when there was a little party here. I won't name him. It's a friend of Colston's. I've been trying to get to him I want to talk to you about volunteer opportunities in St. Jamestown.
Mm-hmm.
And I can't get him to respond. And I'm thinking, okay, he doesn't want to talk about that. Mm-hmm. So I got to find another source. And at the end of the day, that is that other person's prerogative not to deal with you. And that is very hard to accept. We've talked about that here. Mm-hmm. We've talked about that.
And so for me, directly, when somebody says, oh, just give me a shout, it's like, no, I'm not going to constantly keep wasting my time reaching out to you in this one-sided conversation. Yeah. I'm not going to keep giving you a shout. I'm shouting at you now.
Yeah.
So,
but you know what?
Let's not create a missed opportunity.
But it could be that you and I are going to do something this weekend, and we know we're both busy. We're absolutely going to get together. So just give me a shout when you're ready. And we know that that's just simply, okay, I'll expect a call from Alex when we're ready to do this. Again, it's context.
I don't like that. I still prefer, like, if that's the case, let's just say, okay, we're meeting Saturday evening. As to the time, let's play it by ear.
All right, and just give me a shout when you're ready to go out. Bingo. I got you. Okay, that's fine. Well, point being, it depends on how you say it, who you're saying it to, and what you're really communicating.
I guess, yeah.
And the heart knows if you're bullshitting me or not, right?
My only hope is that I would have more conversations like that, but the issue is I just don't. I don't have most of the conversations that I have are not usually in that context. But what's the next one?
Maybe it's because of the type of people or the people you're having them with. I don't know. I'm just saying that one.
That's a heavy one.
Well,
that's another podcast.
Oh, it is. Okay, well, that's number 7.
That goes right up there with it is what it is.
Yeah, it's a filler phrase that initiates the sometimes long process of saying goodbye. Okay, well, that's what a weak. Okay, well, what the hell else are you going to say? Are you finished?
Okay, well, to me, it's just as lazy when a daddy messages me on Grindr and says, "Hi, what you doing?"
Well, that's better than hi. And no picture, no stats.
Or hi, what WYD question mark, no picture, no stats.
Yeah.
I'm just like,
and what do you do? Swipe left?
I'm like, at your grown ass age, what we're not going to do is tolerate that kind of conversation.
So that's swipe left, right?
That is an instant block.
Well, I don't bother with block. Block is... sometimes I will, but swipe left is usually and believe me, they forget about you within moments. So it's the same thing.
Hey, listen, this is the byproduct of living in a large city like Toronto.
Yeah.
Everybody treats everybody like they're expandable. Should they? No. But do they?
But they also
that's queer culture.
They also run into each other once or 2 or 3 times a year too, and sometimes they can't remember when they last ran into you. Or virtually ran into you.
I have a story about that, but I want to tell you offline.
Oh,
I can't. It's too provocative. It's too scandalous to tell on air.
I want to hear.
I'll tell you about that afterwards.
Do we have time to do the 7 phrases boomers use that instantly annoy millennials? Or do 2 or 3 of them? Or do we have time?
Let's do a couple, yeah.
All right. When I was your age... That one I could understand why that would be so annoying. When I was your age.
I'm sorry.
But again, that's different.
No. You know what? I had my recent back in my day moment.
Somebody said that to you?
No. I said that to somebody.
Oh. You said that to... Oh.
I was like, oh my God.
You're graduating to daddy school.
Am I becoming a baby daddy?
You're in middle daddy school.
Am I a baby daddy? Like, when I said it, I immediately caught myself. I was like, oh,
you're graduating.
I'm becoming that person.
But was that person willing to listen to what you had to say? Was it a...
I'm pretty sure. So,
well, because I was barking at them.
Let me tell you what it was. So the other day, I went to the mall to go return something, right? Eaton Center. And I stopped at Cinnabon.
Oh, yeah.
And I remember the days like back in the day when I was with Eli, when I lived up in North York.
Yes.
You remember
that's years ago.
Like years ago. Like
7, 8 years ago.
Yeah, a long time. 8 years ago. And we, as a tradition, as a couple, we used to walk over from our place to the Fairview Mall and grab a Cinnabon on Saturdays. It was like our little treat after a Saturday morning workout because we get up early on Saturday mornings and work out. How have the might has fallen because it can't even get me to wake up past 11 a.m. on a Saturday morning unless I'm getting paid. But I digress.
My goodness. I'm up at 6 o'clock on Saturdays.
That's why I never catch you at the market.
I'm not up at 6 o'clock. I've started my lasagna by 11 o'clock.
But I digress. So yeah, when we lived together, we used to walk over to Fairview Mall and grab a Cinnabon. And back in those days, Cinnabon was like $2.50. And you can get the frosting for 50 cents, the extra frosting on top of 50 cents.
Oh boy, sugar.
So I have not had a Cinnabon in years. Well, literally since I left North York, I have not had a Cinnabon. So I didn't have any Cinnabon when I lived in Scarborough.
Well, that's not necessarily a bad thing.
And I haven't had any since I moved downtown.
Good for you. You're healthy.
So it's literally been almost 6-7 years since I've had a Cinnabon. It's been a long time. So I stopped by the food court. I saw this, and you go downstairs.
Yeah, and you can smell it as you're walking. You're 25 feet away.
It hits you. So I was like, let me go grab it. Let me go get a Cinnabon. It's been a while. I'll take it home, have it with tea. Actually, I know the last time I had a Cinnabon, it was 2 weeks after my mom died.
Oh.
because I wanted comfort food. That's how long I've had a Cinnabon.
Wow.
And my mom died in 2019. So that was the last time I had a Cinnabon.
Bless her heart.
So I went to the Cinnabon counter, and the girl was like, "Okay, that would be $10."
$10 for a fucking Cinnabon?
I said,
What's it made of, gold?
I said, "You're joking, right?" Because all I wanted was like the dulce de leche Cinnabon with like the extra frosting, and she's like, "Oh, it's $10." I started going into this long monologue about how back in I was like, "Oh, Cinnabon, Cinnabon, when did Cinnabon get so expensive? Cinnabon used to cost this amount of money. Oh, Cinnabon was like $2.50. And she's like, "Oh, maybe they was running a special promotion, da-da-da-da-da. When was this?"
And she's thinking, this guy don't have gray hair. What's he talking that way for?
2017. The girl looked at me. I was like, you could see like she's a young person.
Yeah,
maybe,
she was still in grade school.
Probably high school. This is her little side job on the weekend. She looked at me like, "Sir, if you don't get your ass out of this, get out of this line so I can serve the next customer."
She didn't say that, did she?
No, but I could see it on her face.
That was her face.
Like, I could see it on her face. She was like, "Sir, if you don't shut the fuck up, move aside."
The next time I'm in Eaton Center, I'm going to go buy that Cinnabon and see if the price is really $10.
And she, you could see the annoyance on her face. She was like, "What is this man talking about?" And it really hit me because she's like, "When was that?" I was like, and then I had to really think about it. I was like 2017, and then she looked at me like, she did this because it was a black girl too. She looks at me like this. Like when they cut the head to the side, and the mouth goes up.
You gotta give me more attitude, honey.
I was like, and then it really hit me. I was like, "Oh my God. Did I just have my first back in my day moment?"
Well, here's the final one. Let me give you a final one. This is This is number 7. You'll understand when you're older.
You say that to me all the time.
I have said that.
You have. Okay, so that you remember.
And it's true.
You have said, you're like, "Oh, when you get older, you'll change your opinion."
But you've already changed your perspective on things. I'm watching it change. So that's what maturing and learning does. You change your attitude towards things. Look, your politics has changed in a few years.
Yeah, but I don't think it's that radically changed. If anything, I've just become more reasonable. What is that laugh?
I'm sorry to laugh, but
what is that?
Well, you'll understand when you're older why I'm laughing.
Oh my God, I can't. You said that to me. I'm just like, yeah, okay, boomer. Sure.
You know what? I guess the way I look at it is, I remember when I was younger, and I would hear it from them, and I think now, they were right. I have a different view of that now. But it's a stupid way to say it to somebody. Another way of saying is, well, you know what? You might find you look at this differently when you've lived a little longer like I have. But if you don't, that's fine. Something that says it respects where you're at.
Here's the thing. I think the world is constantly changing now more rapidly than ever.
It sure does.
And so maybe what worked for you in your time with the knowledge and the technology that was available to you then isn't what's going to work for me when I'm your age with the technology and the knowledge that's available to me then.
Except that isn't really what changes. What changes is your attitude and your insight into people and your sense of what is appropriate in a certain instance. And that is just something that you develop with age, and you change, and you become more wise. I'm honest about it. You become smarter eventually.
Well, I don't know if that's smarter or just pessimism, but that's debatable.
No, it's not pessimism. I think it's just
I think it is, because I think a lot of things that you say is just with a heavy dose of pessimism. Again, going back to,
that wasn't pessimism. What I just said was
not necessarily.
Okay.
But going back to like the phrase that boomers say that annoy young people, like it is what it is.
Well, that's a stupid. That's, you know what? It is
Well,
what
if
it
you
is.
think it's stupid, then why do you say it?
But you know what? If two people haven't got anything else to say about something and they don't really want to talk about it much more, it's a good way of wrapping up and going to something else.
Well,
right?
I always want to talk about it because you know me, I love to talk.
Oh, now I didn't know that about you, son. I'm learning every day. Well,
Is there any last words that you want to say to the kids or to the daddies before we wrap up today?
well, I'll let you go now.
Oh my God. I can't even.
The answer is no, but thank you for asking.
You know, for me, I just want to say thank you to you, Daddy.
Really?
For, creating such, for, bringing to the table such a very light-hearted topic today. I had some really good laughs, and it was much needed.
Oh, good. I wish I could do it all the time. I just don't always have things to bring to the table.
Let me tell you, I think I spoke to my therapist, shout out to Dr. Christian, on Monday, and I was saying to him that I'm just having very severe anxiety, and it's more than just work and burnout. A lot of it is just deeply enrooted in what's going on right now politically, because maybe once upon a time, politics in the Western side of the world was heightened, but now I feel like now I feel how people in maybe post-1970s Iran felt, or post the Arabic Spring Egypt felt, or how people in Israel maybe felt before I don't know, to the year 2015. I don't know, but something has shifted in this side of the world. And
it's really getting to you, I can tell.
Because I'm anxious about...
You're anxious, yeah.
I'm anxious about a nuclear war, and I'm anxious about another world war, but this time happening in our side of the planet.
I'm worried about...
You see, we've never had bombs dropping in
North America.
North America.
We never have.
We've been sheltered from that since the dawn of the New World.
Fair enough. Can I tell you what I'm afraid of? I'm afraid of the United States losing its democratic ideals. To me, that's the biggest threat we face right now.
I think that and the nuclear bombing, I think that's linked.
Could be.
I think there's a link, but that's a conversation for another time.
Yep.
But I think my takeaway for the audience today is, if you're like me and you're feeling anxious, and it's, keeping you up at night, you're drinking more, you're eating more, you're biting your nails. God damn, look at these cuticles. Look at these cuticles.
Mine are not bad.
Oh, look at that. Nicely manicured. But if your cuticles are looking like a crime scene like my hand from all the biting and the anxiety, chances are your friends also feel as anxious as you do. Check in on your friends.
Can I have the last word?
Check in on your friends. And
good idea.
If your friends are not as anxious as you are, they probably aren't your friends.
But you know what? God is in control. And I'm a believer. And at the end of the day, He's got it.
Okay. Amen.
This was good tonight. Thank you.
God. Leave it to you to bring it back to God.
Well,
Reverend Norman Cheeseman.
Alpha and the Omega, beginning and the end.
Reverend Norman Cheeseman.
I'm not a reverend. My dad was, but not me.
These PKs.
Yes, I'm a PK, but I'm not a P.
Yes, check in with your friends. And if they're not scared as you, they probably aren't your friends. It means they're a protected class. With that, let me read us out for today. Mm-hmm. If you've made it to the end of the show, follow us on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Amazon Podcasts, and anywhere you get your podcasts. You can also subscribe to our YouTube channel, which is called at Daddy and Son Podcast. That's @ Daddy and Son Podcast. Go over there. Go feed the algorithm gods, like, comment, subscribe. And then if that's not enough, or you feel like you want to give a little extra support, go download the free iHeartRadio app and support the show. If you have any questions for Daddy, send them over to daddyandSonPodcast@gmail.com. That's DADDYANDSON podcast@gmail.com. Until next time, sons, be good to your daddies.
And daddies, be kind to your sons.